Live and in color from DFW International Airport in Texas, USA. This is Runway DFW, your live source for airplane action for one of the world's busiest airports. My name is Walt Swerko, and I welcome you to this edition of Runway DFW. Let's check the date, shall we? Get that off. It is Thursday, March 10th, 2022. We're a couple minutes late coming up on you here. It's 6:34 a.m. This is actually the earliest program we've had so far because the sun is coming up earlier and earlier. Unfortunately, starting next week, well, starting Sunday, I guess, we're going to be moving ahead an hour because here in the U.S., most of the country changes over to daylight time. So we won't be able to start as early for at least a couple of months. But so we get a little extra bonus time here, thanks to the end of daylight time. What you're looking at there is the UPS cargo hub here at DFW Airport, just south of where we are at the DFW Founders Plaza. You can see an MD-11 cargo jet on the left, the Queen of the Skies, 747 there on the right, and just to the right of that, there's another MD-11 getting ready for takeoff. Now we have had usually, when we come in at this hour, the 747 packs up and heads off to Louisville, so we'll see what happens today. They're still got the cargo load in there, so we are prepared for that. Let us take a look at what's going on as far as aircraft coming and going. Looks like the first flight we see going out is going to be a Spirit Airlines flight. Rolling up there to the end of runway 18 left. We're about 10 minutes away from sunrise here. And for some reason I'm not seeing that on the radar. Can't tell you where it's going, folks. Spirit, of course, is made application to merge with Frontier Airlines. So we don't know if we'll be continuing to see this lemon yellow bird here for much longer. Who knows what name they'll select, or if they'll pick another name altogether for their combined airlines, if that move is approved, of course. Good morning to everyone who's joining us here on Runway DFW. There's a Delta flight coming up next. That's unusual to see two non-American Airlines flights in a row here, but we're happy to bring you that. Still don't know where this one's going. It's a stealth Spirit flight. As you can see, we're still kind of in that twilight mode here where all the runway lights show up, and very colorful time of day. So goodbye Spirit flight, wherever you're going. We do know that Delta Flight 732 is going to Los Angeles. It's an A320 making the turn on 18 left. There it is. We've got the skylines of Irving, Texas behind there. And Way in the background there, the kind of hazy skyline is Dallas, as we are looking west right now. I'm sorry, we're looking east. When you get up this early, you get a little loopy. So nothing in its way. This Delta flight will head off to the City of Angels on Runway DFW.
Over departure, Delta 732. Morning. Saturday morning, PS 9837, cleared to the visual for 18 left.
Nothing lined up here on the west side of the airport. Nothing coming in at the moment, although we do have a UPS 757 cargo plane coming in from Tulsa. It'll be here in a couple of minutes. So let's say hello to everyone who's checked in. Adam Serena is the first to make a comment. Thank you, Adam, for being here. Allison Tidy, it's afternoon where she is, I'm assuming in the European region. Good morning to you, Wendy. Luke is joining us from New Zealand, where it's 1:35 a.m. And it's summer, right? It's still summer there. Coming into fall. Good morning to you, Chris. Good to see you there. Waters is here today. Welcome to you. Waters apologized for missing the last broadcast, and you know, hey, it's okay. You can always look back at our replays. So the whole gang is here. We're happy to see all of you this morning. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Bill Coldham is here. I believe he's in Arkansas, if I remember right. So it's good to see you. Saz Purvis, relaxing to our live stream. Good for you. And thank you very much, all. We are approaching sunrise in just a couple of minutes. It's coming up right over there. Unfortunately, we don't have any clouds this morning. And why I say that is because the sun shines directly at us, and when it comes up, the pictures are going to be a little impacted by the fact that there's sun coming directly at our lens, but we will deal with that here on Runway DFW. Yehuda wants to know how many terminals are at the airport. There are 5 terminals, A, B, C, D, and E. D is the international terminal. E is the terminal where all the domestic airlines except for American hang out. There's only one terminal where non-American airlines planes hang out, except for Terminal E for domestic use and Terminal D for international aircraft. So maybe we'll show our diagram later, but right now we're going to turn our attention to this 757 coming in from, did I say Tulsa? Yes, this is a Tulsa flight of the UPS variety. And again, it's a rare...
Cross 18 right, hold short 18 left, American Local 167.
We don't see a lot of 757s here anymore. I don't think any airlines that we have currently fly them for passenger use into DFW. I may be mistaken, but I haven't seen any. American abandoned their 757s a couple of years ago, as I believe.
Yankee, cross 18 left, 0.65 on the bridge for American Local 167.
Let you know about the weather here. The skies are totally clear. It's a very minimal southerly wind. And our thermometer here at our viewing station at DFW Founders Plaza says it's 39 degrees. We're kind of focusing on this plane right now because there's nothing else happening. But we should see it making a left turn momentarily, and it'll be kind of aimed right at us. As we keep our eye on the other cargo planes at the UPS terminal. If we're lucky, we'll get to see a 747 take off in at least this UPS edition, which is just to the south of us. And who knows, maybe there'll be another cargo flight coming in or going. As our regular viewers know, we don't get any passenger 747 service here at DFW at the moment. And no, for those of you who are wondering, we don't get any A380 Super Jumbo passenger service at the moment either, although we expect to see that in July 1st to be specific, when British Airways shifts its daily flight to that aircraft. Good morning to you, Will in a Chair. Happy to have you with us on this Thursday morning. This is Thursday morning in Texas. Jeff in Mass, coming to us from Baston. Hello to you. It's even earlier there than it is here. Probably colder too.
American 2342 is visual, 17 center. 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 2342 is visual,
Looks like there are plenty of parking spaces at the UPS facility this morning. We've seen it before where there are planes that have to wait for others to leave sometimes. Looks like it's just going to pull straight in there. No? Yes? No? See the tail of an American Airlines aircraft at the American hangar facility here on the west side. Uncle Car Guy must have just joined us and asked if there's any 747s. Well, yeah, there are. Well, there's one. It is being loaded up now. And typically, I haven't looked at the departure list today, but typically we see this go out before we sign off for the day around 9 a.m. Central Time. Generally, this one goes out to Louisville, which is a big UPS hub. So I hope that answers your question. That looks like a cold job. I'm guessing somebody's making room inside now for these arriving cargo boxes. And yeah, we have total inactivity here on the west side of the airport. We can look at, I think, this plane coming in from San Antonio. Where is it? There it is. It eclipses the sun. That was American Flight 2342 and A319 coming in from San Antonio. There is our sunrise this morning. It came up about 5 minutes ago. And we can now turn our attention to American Eagle Flight 5745 coming in from Louisville. It will be a CRJ 900 on Runway DFW. So we have a dog walking plane spotter came into our view. It is a little quieter here today than it has been before. Here we're looking at a FedEx flight, if I'm not mistaken, if it focuses for us. There it is. That's a 767 headed to parts unknown according to Flight Radar 24. It departed from the east side of the airport, so we didn't get to see it lift off. But there it goes, off to wherever it's going. The regional action continues here at DFW Airport. With a flight coming in from Midland, Texas. Been in the air for about 50 minutes. It'll be a CRJ 900ER. on Runway DFW. Good morning to you, wherever you may be in our wide, wide world. Happy to bring you a little early morning plane spotting from Dallas, Fort Worth. Here's American Flight 1108 coming in from Detroit. This is also coming in on the east side, so we won't be able to see its entire landing pattern, but there's the last few moments of it. Yikes, that sun is bright. Coming in from Springfield, Missouri, it's American Eagle Flight 3756. This is an Embraer 175. It's a little further away than I thought it was. Let's see if we can pick it out of the sky here. There it is. I implore you to focus, my camera. There's a post, ladies and gentlemen. Wasn't that cinematic? Another American Eagle flight, another E175 now coming in from Chattanooga. This will be flight 3883, American Eagle, as I look across to see and find that there's not currently any planes lining up for taking off. So, let us focus in on this aircraft. While my camera decides if it's going to focus on the post or the plane. Hugo DeCara wants to know if we get sunrises like this every day. Well, I'm not looking at them every day. I'm not up this early, but Yeah, I mean, it's pretty common. We get some pretty spectacular sunrises and sunsets here in Texas. I have to say it's a little more spectacular when there are clouds involved and there's something to bounce the light off of. Otherwise, it's just a big ball of orange, you know? And the reason I'm out here so early is not because there's so much air traffic, but because in a couple hours I have to go to work. So that accounts for these kind of crazy hours. Well, according to Flip Clock 79, it's 7:01 here in North Texas. Let me do this. Okay. It's Thursday, March 10th, 2022. You are watching Runway DFW live on YouTube from DFW International Airport. We're happy to be here with you several times a week. And we have a new feature today. Yeah, we don't have a way for you to tip us in the comments, but if you do feel the urge to contribute, give us a cup of coffee or help us out with our internet expenses, there's a way now. You can go to paypal.me/runwaydfw. Or if you have a PayPal account, just go to Runway DFW, all one word, and you'll see our logo. And if you want to help us out here at Runway DFW, that's a way to do it. We won't beat you over the head with it, but we hope you can see it through. And otherwise, everything is free here at Runway DFW. There's no payment involved if you subscribe to our channel on YouTube. It's totally free, no cost whatsoever. So, however you choose to watch us, thank you very much. I'm not very good at this sales stuff. I've always been a content guy since I started in TV news in 1975. And so, the sales part of this has always eluded me. And I can't say that I'm very good at it, but there's my pitch. paypal.me/runwaydfw. And thank you in advance for anybody who chooses to give us a helping hand. Coming in from Wichita, this is American Flight 2862 in A320. There's that sun. Got a bunch of planes coming in now. They're all regional American Eagle flights, the first one of which coming in from Shreveport in neighboring Louisiana. Only been in the air about 45 minutes. It's a CRJ 900. Blah, 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 blah. actually trying to keep track of 4 screens now. I have my big 7-inch viewfinder monitor now, back after a blown fuse. I've got 2 phones, one to keep track of your comments and the other to keep track of the aircraft coming and going on Flight Radar 24, and then I've got the viewfinder on the camera. And that doesn't count the screen of the iPad where the music comes from, or the computer which is doing all the digesting of the digital information and sending it to you. And I take a picture of all this to show it to you, but I don't have anything left to take a picture with. Or maybe I'll take a picture with my iPad. Let's see here. Disconnect that. I don't think I'll be able to show it to you now, but I'll take the picture, and that way I can pull it up next time. There's the camera. This looks ridiculous. There must be a better way. Okay, we've got a plane coming in. It's American Eagle Flight 3267. There it goes. They say American, it's American Eagle. Duh. I was coming in from San Angelo, which is in another part of Texas. We've got an Embraer 145 coming in from Abilene, which is also in Texas. This will be American Eagle Flight 3647. And it has only been in the air for about 35 minutes. So. I'm going to have to bet they spent more time getting on the plane and taxiing, and then taxiing when they get here than they are in the air. A larger aircraft is now in our sights. This is going to be an A321. It's an American Airlines flight 1367 coming in from Seattle, which is more than 45 minutes away by my reckoning. There it is. Don't defocus on me now. The eclipse poster shot, yeah. And we'd like to say thank you to Robert Brailsford, who sent us a PayPal donation. And unfortunately, I don't have a way to show those as they come in because, again, I don't have access to the YouTube mechanism to do that. But I certainly do appreciate your donation. Thank you, Robert. And if I missed anybody else, I'll try to go back and find them, but...
2220, good day. 47, visual 1 to the left. Atlanta, Way 5527.
Here comes another American Eagle plane. This one's coming in from Laredo in Texas. That's flight 3140. And we've got another American Eagle flight making its approach now. This one will be flight 3809, an Embraer 145 with the engines in the back coming in from Lawton, Oklahoma. Meanwhile, take a look at this Martinair flight. This one's not showing up on the radar. I believe these are cargo flights that go operate regionally. Leslie White says, my eyes are beginning to focus again after an eye test. That means I don't have to be so careful with my focus then, right? Let's see if we can pick up this flight from Lawton. There it is. Almost escaped me in the morning sun. I have to say that I'm surprised by the lack of departures on this side. I don't know if there's been some redirection to the other side of the airport or not. Because this aircraft looks like it is going to the other side of the airport. And for those of you who are new to Runway DFW, there are east and west sides to DFW. There are 7 runways altogether. There's 3 on this side and 4 on the other side. The primary runways go north and south, and there are 3 of those on the other side and 2 of those on this side. And I may have been mistaken about that Martin Air flight. It looks like it is turning now to take off on this side of the airport. You can probably, well, no, it's getting to the time of day when it's really hard to pick things out of the sun. But yeah, it's taking off on 18 left. So there's apparently no prohibition from taking off here. It's just that flights, nothing's scheduled right now. Another small aircraft lining up. It's interesting to watch some non-jet powered aircraft occasionally. We get a flight from McAllen coming in. It's also in Texas. There we go. I guess I must have missed it. Curse the sun. I don't really curse the sun, but we're turning into, this is the tiny aircraft hour here at Runway DFW. All right, well, we've got American Airlines Flight 2272 coming in from Oklahoma City. Oklahoma being just north of Texas. State-wise.
187, runway heading,
Looks like I had a comment stuck up there. That's what happens when you get 4 screens you're looking at, and you kind of dart your eyes between them. Well, when will we get our first wide body this morning? That's a good question. I don't know. (7:19) now here at Runway DFW. We are happy to have you with us. And again, we do have a new feature. I don't want to beat it to death, but if you do care to make a contribution to our efforts here at Runway DFW, just go to paypal.me/runwaydfw and leave us a tip, buy us a cup of coffee, help us out with our streaming expenses. That goes a long way to helping us keep doing what we're doing. Thank you. All right, we've got more regional action here from American Eagle Flight 5746 coming in from Houston.
Roger, 507, good day.
We welcome Summer Deadlight to Runway DFW. Good morning to you, first time here, but love the early morning flights to watch. Well, that's good. Glad you like it. We hope to be able to bring you some big jets at some point this morning. We do have, over here, we see the apparatus which delivers cargo into this UPS 747. It's now left the doorway. The doorway is still open, so I think we'll see that before we go in about an hour and a half. So we've got 90 minutes to check that out. And then this MD-11 looks like it's buttoned up, so maybe we'll see it going. The cargo hatch is closed. So with any luck, we'll get to see some big cargo jet action here this morning. Coming in from El Paso, is this right? No, it's coming in from Harlingen, which is in southern Texas. It's American Eagle Flight. It's American Eagle operated by SkyWest, as you can see. Retains the SkyWest livery. If you weren't here when we first fired up, right off the bat we got a Spirit flight and a Delta flight. We don't know where the Spirit flight was going. Delta flight was going to LAX, I want to say. Lining up now for an arrival on runway 18 right at DFW Airport. It's going to be American Eagle Flight 5820 from El Paso, which is in West Texas. It'll be a CRJ 900 for your plane spotting pleasure on runway DFW. Warming up here a bit, it's 44 degrees now. 44 Fahrenheit, of course. And I apologize, I don't have my Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion table in front of me. You saw for a second a parallel arrival coming in on the east side of the airport. And that American Eagle Flight is operated by Mesa, as you can see by the livery. I thought I spied a big plane. Yeah, I think that's a 777. 777, but it doesn't have any flight number or destination information, so it may be just headed to a gate. All right, back to the hot regional action here at DFW. This is American Eagle Flight 3899 coming in from the city of Brownsville in South Texas on Runway DFW. Accounts officers in the house, thank you for joining us this morning. Good to see you here. We've got coming in from Killeen, another Texas outpost. It's American Eagle Flight 3919 and Embraer 175. That's what I'm trying to find. See, what's he shooting at? I was looking for that. That's the 777 that apparently is, well, not apparently, it is headed over to the American Airlines hangar over here on the west side. So its day is done. It's going to be disinfected and cleaned and all that stuff they do to planes when they get a little respite. It is really quiet here this morning. Let's take a look at a UPS flight coming in from Houston Intercontinental, if we can pick it out of the sky. It's over there somewhere. That's it. It's coming in on the east side of the airport, so we'll look at it as long as we can until it disappears below structures. It'll eventually be making its way over to this side. So we'll get a little closer look at it then. But it'll take a few minutes to, after it lands, to taxi its way over to our part of the airport. And DFW Airport is a massive, massive airport. It's the second biggest by land mass in the country, second only to Denver. Farewell until we see you a little later. It is 7:31 in North Texas. You're watching Runway DFW, live from DFW Airport on Thursday, March 10th, 2022. We welcome all of you, new viewers and old. We're so happy to see you here. And just another reminder, if you like what you see, give us a tip. Go to paypal.me/runwaydfw, or if you have a PayPal account, just go to PayPal and type in Runway DFW, all one word, as the entity you want to send to, and buy us a cup of coffee or help us out with internet expenses. Otherwise, we hope you will like and subscribe to Runway DFW. That helps us a lot too. And thank you very much for your help. And thanks for watching. All right, back to the action. You are looking at the UPS terminal there, and we've got an MD-11 on the left and a 747 on the right, and we hope to see one or both of them leaving before we go today. We do have, coming in just about a minute, we're going to follow it in, Japan Airlines Flight 12 coming in from Haneda in Tokyo. It's a 787 Dreamliner. It's our first big jet of the day, passenger-wise, on Runway DFW. As we've noted before, the planes that are taking off that are traveling between here and Japan and Korea would normally overfly some Russian territory on their way to DFW or on the way back. They are now taking a more southerly route to avoid that territory, making the flight just a little bit longer. I've noticed something interesting. I was looking at the flights. We do get flights from both Emirates and Qatar Airways here. Qatar, and they're both leaving from, pretty close. Their origination point is, they're pretty close to one another, Dubai and Doha. But the Qatar Airways flights are flying over Russia. They're taking a polar route, flying much of their flight over Russia, whereas the Qatar Airlines flights have shifted their route to fly south over friendly parts of Europe, and those flights are longer. Qatar has 2 flights a day here. They're taking the Russia route, and Emirates has 1, and they are, I guess, not taking any chances, or maybe their relationship with Moscow isn't as good, I don't know. So that ends an 11-hour and 11-minute flight from Tokyo. It's a 6-year-old Dreamliner. And it is now making its way over to the International Terminal D here at DFW. Thanks to all of you who are tuning in to Runway DFW. Some of you perhaps for the first time. We welcome you in. We've got a very vibrant and friendly online chat community here associated with Runway DFW. So if you subscribe to our channel, you can join in the fun. Jeff in Mass is saying any international route is going to cost airlines more now. Well, if they do have to avoid overflying Russia. And yeah, that's true. Although most airlines do have a scheme where they, I don't know if most of them do. Well, here comes that UPS flight that we saw landing on the other side. Most airlines enter into longer-term contracts for their fuel, and so that gives them a more predictable operational scheme, at least in the short term. Now, longer term, they'll have to renew those contracts, and they're going to cost more. So I don't know if any fuel price related impacts will be coming immediately, but I haven't been pricing any international travel. Well, I have to take that back because I haven't been, but my son has. He lives and works in Seoul, and he's coming back here in a few weeks, and he delayed 1 day in purchasing his tickets, and they cost $100 more. So I guess that answers that question. That's an Airbus A300 F4-622R, for those of you who are keeping score. 18 years old, built in 2003. Flight's pulling in behind our MD-11, which appears to be not accepting any more cargo, but it hasn't lit up our radar yet. And then over to the right here, our Queen of the Skies still has its cargo bay door open. But it looks like there still are some containers there kind of nearby. So I guess maybe there's some left to go in there. Well, it's getting extraordinarily quiet here, I must say, because we don't have anything coming in, don't have anything going out. At least it's warming up here. It's 45 degrees Fahrenheit now, so we're thankful for that. And you're saying, what is that head of an immobilized child there in the foreground? Now we'll take a look at that. That's a statue. Well, there's three. There they are. It depicts three children kind of enjoying the freedom of flight, I guess. I know that artwork has some official name. I can't remember what it is. But at a more reasonable hour of the day, there are children here, and they'll actually frolic among those statues and kind of mimic what they're doing. Hugo notes that on Flight Radar 24, FR24, if you look at the planes on the ground for DFW, it's like 700 American Airlines planes and then a couple of others splattered here and there. And yes, that is true. And if you watch this channel often enough, you'll see that that's exactly the case. In fact, we can shift our view over to one of the terminals. Let's look at the international terminal, Terminal D. And yeah, it's just chock full of, it's kind of hard to see with all the backlight we've got, unfortunately, but on the left there is Terminal B, and well, let's put it this way. Out of the 5 terminals at DFW, A, B, C, D, and E, Terminal A is All American Airlines, Terminal B is All American Airlines, Terminal C is All American Airlines. There's no other airlines that fly into any of those terminals. Terminal D is the international terminal, which does have all airlines that need customs facilities. And then Terminal E is the domestic terminal where non-American Airlines planes can find safe harbor, although American has some gates there too. So yes, American is quite the dominant airline at this particular airport. And Roger Williams, I agree with you as we're talking about the facilities here. Founders Plaza is a great place for spotting. It'd be nice if there was a restroom though. Yes, they did overlook that as an amenity when they constructed this fine facility here. And it is nice. There's a nice parking area. It's free. There's no admission. As you can see, we get a kind of a panoramic view of the airport. Not as close to the action as plane spotters might hope to get, but still, it's unobstructed. We're up on a little ridge here, so we can overlook the barbed wire fence. And if we spin around here, there's some sails there to provide some shade. We got some binoculars of questionable value, but they're free. You don't have to put a quarter in them. And here's the little monument here at Founders Plaza. And I was told by someone who I met here maybe a month or two ago. Here comes a dog running free. Oh, he's got a ball. He's having fun. Can you see him? I can't. Where'd he go? There he is. He's got his ball. Oh, we've got an aircraft. What? An aircraft? Sorry, Pooch. Got to divert our attention to the thing that people came here to see, airplanes. That's American Flight 1595 coming in from Austin. 737-800. Lots of flights between Dallas and Austin, and obviously you get a lot of those over at Love Field 2, which is a few miles to the east of us in Dallas proper, which is the home of Southwest Airlines. And as we've said before, if you think we get a big percentage of American Airlines flights here, over at Love Field, all you see is Southwest Airlines flights. I think Delta may fly a couple of flights there today, a day, and I think it's Frontier that also flies into Love Field, but that's about it. And I have to say that at least here we get some variety of aircraft, whereas at Love Field all you see is 737s. Not that there's anything wrong with 737s, but it'd be nice to see something else. Well, we've got an American Eagle flight coming in from Manhattan.
We're going to be parking west side.
Manhattan, Kansas. A CRJ 701ER making its appearance on the horizon. I can't punch up your comment right now. Hugo said, yes, JFK landed at Love Field in '63 on that fateful day. And when a president visits Dallas, and it's a destination, you know, close to the city of Dallas. Air Force One will still land at Love Field. I mean, Love Field was the international airport here before DFW was built in, I think it opened in '75. And yeah, so Braniff ran international routes out of Love Field, and all the big airlines are there. Well, we now have another Dreamliner winging its way towards our vantage point. It'll be American Flight 116. And it's going to be coming in from Maui. Still a minute or two out. Michelle R.S. talking about JFK. She's visited the memorial of downtown many times. Just got a new book to read about it. There's so much to read about that. You know, I saw that event in 1963 as a child on TV. You know, I was just glued to the TV all weekend long. And I never for a minute thought that I'd wind up working 2 blocks from where that happened, or 3 blocks. And I worked there for many years at the TV station WFAA in Dallas, which was a big part of the coverage. You can still watch those clips on YouTube today. In fact, on one of the anniversaries, I went through all the original video for, I think we produced a DVD about it between WFAA and the Dallas Morning News, which at that time were owned by the same company. It was just fascinating to watch that original footage in real time. Which somebody at the television station had the presence of mind to start recording. I mean, now we don't think twice about recording everything, but back in those days, you would have to, you know, it involved gigantic reels of videotape and big machines, of which there weren't that many, so that's a historic document. Again, this is a flight from Maui coming in, Dreamliner, on Runway DFW.
Halfway right, over shore 18 left, GPS 2711 at Whiskey Pop.
And you may have seen as that flight was coming in, we had a
Runway 18 left, UPS 27 left.
UPS flight going out. This is going to Ontario, California. It's a 757. There it is. It'll be making a right turn, glimmering in the early morning sunlight, and lifting off for California. So a flight coming in on 18 right from Fargo, American Eagle flight. And this one again lifting off for Ontario, California. Well, things are happening now. We've got American Airlines flight headed to Seoul, which is lit up. It'll be taking off here shortly. It'll be American flight 127. Pulling out of the International Terminal Complex over there somewhere. But now we've got another UPS flight coming in. It's going to be a 767 coming in from Austin in Texas. Let's do a check over here at UPS World Headquarters. Not the World Headquarters, but 747 still has its cargo door open. Still, I don't know. Plane's not taking off with those cargo containers sitting there, so I guess, I don't know if we'll be seeing that this morning or not. The cargo door on this MD-11 trijet is closed. Can we see anything going on in the cockpit? Ooh, is that a pilot type person I see in there? I think so. So yeah, maybe we'll Maybe we'll get to see a tri-jet blasting off here. LA girl, hello to you and to everyone watching. All of you around the world on Runway DFW. Here, coming at us now is this 767 which just arrived from Austin. That's UPS cargo plane if you hadn't been with us for that. Well, it is 8:01 here on Runway DFW. Thursday, March 10th, 2012, if you're just joining us. Thank you for coming in and being a part of our little group here. We have a new feature here at Runway DFW. If you want to leave us a tip, just go to paypal.me/runwaydfw. Buy us a cup of coffee, help us out with our internet expenses. No obligation, of course. You're free to watch this as much as you want without any obligation. But I hope you will like and subscribe to our channel at Runway DFW. We haven't, I'm telling you, we haven't seen anything taking off here. On the west side of the airport. We should be seeing that flight to Seoul. The American Airlines flight. Haven't seen it yet. This is about as close as we get to any active aircraft here. Because the UPS cargo facility just a couple of 100 yards south of us. That is the west tower of DFW Airport there in the distance. There are 3 towers. 2 of them are operational. The central tower is, I am told, no longer used for traffic control. We're coming to you live from the DFW Founders Plaza. Not the original Founders Plaza here. There was one before this. I think I was mentioning it earlier. There was a gentleman I was talking with who hangs out at the airport quite a lot. And he was here when the original Founders Plaza was operational. They decommissioned that park because they were expanding a runway on the east side. So they moved it over here. He said they had a little closer view at the original Founders Plaza. It was a better location for plane spotting in his view, but yeah, I'm not complaining about this one. That's pretty good. There's a look at there's a traffic report for Highway 121, which is just north of us. And yeah, just after 8 a.m. local time, it's a pretty busy time on the highways and byways of Dallas-Fort Worth. All right, well, we'll shift our attention to the air, where we will find American Flight 1066. It's coming in from Mexico City, 737-800. Yeah, some more international visitors to Runway DFW this morning. Dusan Petrovic, greeting us from Nuremberg in Germany. And John Kermis, welcome to you from Holland. So nice for you to be with us here. I guess it's early afternoon where you are. Thanks so much for being here with us. MJ Scanlon Photography is in agreement with me, and I think probably most other plane spotters. It would be nice if there was an east side facility from which to observe aircraft here at DFW. It's a very big and spread out airport, and that's the main issue with plane spotting here, is that they acquired so much land when they built the airport. There's a lot of buffer space between public viewing areas and the runway activity. There's no, look at this here, hold on a second. I think that's going to be a FedEx MD-11 that took off. Yes, it is. I can always tell by the steep angle of climb. It just goes, they just rocket right up in the sky. That's on its way to Memphis. That's well, I lost it. There it is. But that is of the 20th century. That's a 31-year-old aircraft built in 1990. What ho? A plane actually taking off from the west side. Yes, it is. It seems like an hour since we've seen anything take off from this side. I do have to tell you, as we approach 9 o'clock, typically on a weekday morning, it's just like plane after plane taking off. I can't even announce what they are because there's so many of them. So we'll see what happens. We do have also, we've got some tri-jet action over here, everybody. We can just barely make out the tail. There, do you see it? It's moving. That is a UPS cargo plane, flight 2785. It's going to be on its way to Louisville. It's lit up the radar, and it just pushed back. And so we'll get to see that take off. That'll be nice. This aircraft's a little newer. It's still 20th century, made it's 23 years old, from 1998. According to Flight Radar 24. Kind of revving things up there. While we do that, I'll give you a self-portrait. Hello. We got American Airlines flight 1034 coming in from Guadalajara. We got to spin all the way around to see it coming in. It's a 737-800. Michelle RS, good morning to you. Richard F. Stripe, good morning from Founders. Are you here?
Correct there, yeah, just we're starting our takeoff roll.
Show yourself. Dark Wolf Mistwalker says, hope you can catch Qantas A380s when they return. This month? Well, I don't know. Qantas resumed its service to DFW last month, and we were here for that. We shift our focus over here to a Delta flight taking off. I want to say this is going to Salt Lake City, but I may be wrong. let you know there in a minute.
2444, have a good day.
Back to our MD. And yes, that Delta flight was going to Salt Lake City. It was flight 2444 Delta Airlines. You hang out here long enough, you get to know what's going on. This one, again, is going to Louisville. And I can't tell yet if it's going to take off from this side of the airport or not. I don't know what it's doing. As it makes a turn there, we're going to look at American Airlines flight 127, which is on its way to Seoul. A flight that I have taken. I was just looking at my Google Photos, reminding me it was 6 years ago that I went to Seoul. I believe the aircraft they were operating then on American was a 777, not a 787 on that route. And that was the last time I was on an aircraft. So we've got this plane lining up. The MD-11 is approaching runway 18 left. I don't know if it's going to be going first or not. Can you see it there? Seems to be on the move. And as you see that UPS plane taxiing, there's another one coming in. This is an A300 coming in from Palm Beach. But no, we're going to see the American Airlines flight take off for Seoul. It looks like the MD-11 is headed over to the east side of the airport for dispatch to Louisville. So that aircraft's taken a long way to get off the ground. It's, I'm sure, laden with perhaps a bit extra fuel. Because again, it will be avoiding Russian airspace on its way. I do remember when I was keen to be looking at the back of seat screen to tell where the flight was going, and we went over the Aleutian Islands of Alaska, and the next I know we were flying over Russia. In about a minute, we'll shift our focus over to the north again, where we'll get the morning flight in from Honolulu, American Airlines Flight 102, another Dreamliner. If you were with us earlier, it was like the regional hour. We were getting flights in from every possible destination in Texas on American Eagle, and now we're getting some of the big boys. This one again is coming in from an A300 F4 coming in from Palm Beach. This one's 16 years old, made in 2006. And I just lost my flight radar. All right, coming in from Honolulu, American Flight 102, another Dreamliner on Runway DFW. Thank you for joining us from wherever you may be watching. Aloha to all you passengers there, y'all. Going to be pulling in next to the Queen. If you're just joining us, we have launched a PayPal account to, if you feel the need to buy me a cup of coffee or help with our internet streaming expenses, there's a way for you to do us. It's paypal.me/runwaydfw. And we thank you in advance for any help you can get us. As I was saying earlier, I'm not a salesperson. I've never been in sales. I've been in television news since 1975. I've done just about everything in TV news and internet, but not sales. And so it's kind of strange to me to solicit funds. I don't like to have to do that. But you know, it helps us out, so paypal.me/runwaydfw. There's the MD-11 we saw leaving from the UPS cargo bay here a few minutes ago. Took off from the east side. And those planes have a very distinctive climb. They go up at almost a 45-degree angle, it seems. This is an American Airlines flight coming in from Monterrey in Mexico. It's like an A319 from the profile. I believe I'm correct, yes. Flight 2429 from that Mexican destination. Jeff in Mass wants to know if I've ever negotiated for a car or a house. Well, I've bought a house before and cars, but yeah, I'm not a great negotiator, I wouldn't say. I mean, some people were born to do that. Me, not so much. Wind is picking up here. I don't know if you can hear it. That one kind of snuck up on me. That would be American Eagle Flight 3571 coming in from Wichita Falls. All of a 25-minute flight. Some construction equipment with, I would guess that's an escort. At any big airport like this, they're always doing construction somewhere. They did have plans. I guess they still do have plans. You see where that, well, here's the international terminal there, with kind of the curved roof there. To the right of it, there were plans to build a Terminal F right in that area. And those got kind of put on hold with the start of the pandemic. There's still some signs in that area indicating Terminal F, but I don't know what the current status of that is. More cargo action for you there, Kalita Air. That one's coming in from Cincinnati, I believe. And we're going to look at this Alaska Airlines plane. That one's a 737-900 going out to Seattle. We've certainly had our share of cargo action here today. The wind is definitely picking up. Gusty. And we here in North Texas are about to have another round of winter weather. This is the third or fourth of 2022. Find that Kalita Air again. The DHL livery. The 767. Meanwhile, zoom around here. It's getting busy. This is an American Airlines aircraft coming in from Cancun, if I remember glancing over correctly to my flight radar. Yeah, it's an A321 flight 1750 coming in from Cancun. Raina Taylor says, I might be your new subscriber because I love this airport and the planes that are there already. I didn't know about this until I saw this channel. Well, well, we don't do any advertising, so I guess if you kind of stumble on it, I'm glad you did. Khalida Air. Another 20th century aircraft built in 1994 at their 767-3P6 ER BDSF. I have no idea what that means. So Khalida Air with the DHL livery. Oh, there's something coming in behind me. Arriving from Albuquerque, American flight 706. It's an A321. We've also got something taking off. That was American Flight 2484 on its way to Montrose. Montrose. Good morning, everybody. You are watching Runway DFW, live from DFW Airport on this Thursday, March 10th, 2022. As the wind blows my tripod around, if you like what you're seeing here, we invite you to consider giving us a tip. Go to paypal.me/runwaydfw, paypal.me/runwaydfw. And at that location, you can buy us a cup of coffee or help us with our internet expenses as we bring you live coverage several times a week from this grand airport facility. So thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing, thanks for liking, thanks for hanging out with us here at Runway DFW. It is 8:34. We've got about another 25 minutes of aircraft activity for you. And coming in from San Luis Potosí in Mexico. This is an American Airlines A319, the flight number of which I will give you as soon as I can divert my attention from the viewfinder. Flight 853, I think. Now, pulling up to the top of runway 18 left. It's American flight 1861, I want to say. 1863. Close. This one's headed to Eagle, Colorado. It's going to be that time of morning when it's hard to see anything. I know there's a plane rolling down the runway over there. Perhaps you can see it. But there it is. Thing is, folks, we're looking right into the sun. Even my high brightness monitor is not enough to pick things out of the skies. Pick things out of the, especially along the ground, it's kind of cluttered over there, but it's a time of day when it gets really busy here. And I may have to regrettably go without announcing each aircraft. Just going to be a traffic jam up there at the top of runway 18 left. That was American Eagle Flight 3920 on its way to Amarillo, Texas. This appears to be American 1550. An A321 on its way to Las Vegas.
Good day, American 982.
I'm talking about the one on the left. And coming up behind it, well, no, everything's dropped off the radar. Gah. Trance making the comment that we have a few American Airlines planes here today. Yes, we do. And good morning to you, Abbas. Just 12 miles northeast of here. It's 8:41 local time here on Runway DFW. Good morning to you, or good evening, or good afternoon, or wherever you may be all around the world. So happy to have you with us here. Subscribe to our channel and you can join our vibrant community of chatters. I think this is American 9777 headed to San Salvador.
Good day, Albert 978.
We've got kind of a pause in the action here. Greetings to you, Sam Guilford from London, England. So happy to have you with us at Runway DFW. London, the home of a legendary airport broadcaster, Big Jet TV. Always fun to watch what he's up to. But we hope you'll enjoy a look at some alternative action here from DFW Airport, where it's now up to 51 degrees, although it still feels cold because the 51 degrees Fahrenheit, of course. It still feels cold because the wind has picked up this morning. I think this plane is finally rolling. You're a passenger on a plane like that, and it's at the top of the runway, and there's nobody in the way, and you wonder, why aren't we going anywhere yet? Of course, there's a lot of factors involved in managing air traffic. Next up for your consideration is an A321 American 2770 on its way to Tucson. Got some 3-gen action there for a second, with a plane taking off from the east side of the airport. I think I lost most of my radar there for a second. That was American Flight 2720 off to Tucson. And that American flight did not have a destination associated with it on the radar. It's American Eagle Flight 3779 off to Santa Barbara, California. I think. Yes. American Flight 2193. Destination, no, that's not it. That's what's arriving right now. Oh, I'm confused. Well, we'll just look at planes, huh? I think that was American 3758, American Eagle 3758 on its way to Brownsville. This is American Airlines 1395 from Minneapolis, St. Paul. Don't want to shortchange St. Paul there. Super. It's just a traffic jam up here on the north side of 18 left, and because we're so backlit, it's hard to see, hard to make out what we're looking at. I think this is going to be flight 2424. Then A321 off to Los Angeles on runway DFW. There goes the wind blowing my tripod when I let it go for a second. You can see there on the right there's a plane coming over on the bridge from the east side of the airport. And I'm only here with you for about another 8 minutes, and it's just going to be jam-packed with flights as we finish up the day. Got American Airlines flight 2435 coming in from Savannah, Georgia. I think we don't usually see flights from Savannah come in on this side. They usually come in on the east side. I don't recall ever seeing a Savannah flight on this side. But there you go. American 2792 coming in from San Antonio in Texas. Another Los Angeles flight here. It's American flight 2424. Did we say that one already? Oh my God, I'm confused. I apologize if I've misled you on any of these flights. Doing the best I can. Plane spotting while squinting into the sun. That was American Flight 2209, an A319 arriving from El Paso in far west Texas. And the best I can say is several more planes in the next minute or two before we have to bid you adios for the morning. You're welcome, Michelle. It's easier to identify the planes coming in. This one's coming in from Atlanta. And again, we're seeing planes arriving on the west side of DFW that normally come in on the east side. I don't believe I've ever seen an Atlanta arrival on this side. It's American Flight 1587. Closed the east side, but yeah, you never know what you're going to see. It's 8:58. I've got about 2 minutes. What shall we look at? You know what we're going to look at? We're going to look at, I think maybe this will be the last flight of the day. There'll be a Frontier Spot the Jaguar livery coming in from Orlando. And once again, yeah, this is unusual. We've got planes coming in from the east here on the west. So this will do it for our little presentation for this morning. And yeah, I hope to be live again on probably Saturday or Sunday. And we welcome Fluit to our broadcast as we get ready to leave you, regrettably. Because I like doing this, I could do this all morning, but here's the thing. I've got a job, and they pay me, and so I gotta go there. So, We're about to play our goodbye music. Well, that wrapped things up for this day on Runway DFW. Thank you so much from wherever you might be in the world for watching our broadcast this morning. We'll be back this weekend, I hope. And as we say here in Texas, happy contrails to you. Until we meet again. Thank you, and I hope you will consider adding to our PayPal account, and we'll see you next time. Bye.